I'm Diana Hicks Sherer, and I was a Soul Train dancer from 1980 to 1988. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and my background in dance would be more as a child. I went to dance school. I come from a family of dancers. My grandmother was a cotton club dancer. Soul Train was an impactful show because you got to see your favorite artists. You got to see the beautiful dancers. I think Pat Davis was someone who I admired when I was coming up, and to see her on the show and her outfits and just the way she performed, and she really inspired you. The way I got on Soul Train was Chuck Johnson was the dance coordinator, and he had asked me several times. We had a few friends in common, so every time he would see me at some event, he would say, I want you to come on the show. And I was modeling, I was in school, I just had some other things, and it didn't register with me when he first asked me to come on the show. It took about 3 times before it clicked. And I said, okay, I'll come on the show. And so I finally came down, and as soon as I came in, he put me up on the riser. That was the beginning. I didn't know really what to expect being a dancer there, but after my first day, my first little screenshot, I got the hang of it. I was like, okay, this is how this works. And it was actually a lot of fun. It was absolutely an exhilarating experience. I think Soul Train was like my alter ego. I'm a very conservative person in a way, so when I would go on the show, I had a chance to let my outer ego come out, right? It was just a lot of fun. The people there was like being with family. And the time that I was on the show, I was actually working for a sports agency where we represented a lot of the top NFL athletes in the country. And so every Saturday the show would come on, I would get these phone calls. Hey, who was that girl on the left? And who was that girl on the right? And she had the blue on. And it occurred to me during that period of time, we were the original video girls. We were the girls that they tune into. My first look was, I used to wear the short dance skirts with the dance tops, and I had the long legs, and so with the heels. That was sort of my trend, my look. Later on, I had a friend, Aretha Jackson. She also danced on the show, and then she used to make her clothes. And so we would get together and we would make our outfits for the show. There was a point in time where we did do that. Once I had this white outfit, it had blue like shingles on it or something, and I came down, and that was one of my favorite. And I had a black one that had silver, you know, this long silver stuff. Being on the risers in the back, that was kind of your time to really shine. They were looking for you to be hot and sexy. And I can remember a time that my friend Crystal McCary, we were in the back and we see the camera guys coming around, and she has this cute pink outfit on. And I got my signature black dance skirt on, and we're like, here we go. It's time to shine as the camera is rolling up on us. And so that was one of my favorite spots to dance on the show, was in the back. When I originally first came on, Reggie Thornton was my dance partner. So we used to put together a lot of different routines, and we danced together for a while. And then everybody started at some point breaking off into this whole individual thing. Either way, it worked for me. Whether I was dancing with him or, you know, they would put you together with someone. You was always kind of up there with someone unless you were on the center riser. I had my own signature dance. A lot of people called me Steak because I always did the little snake dance, you know, coming down the line or on the back risers.
Turn your love around. Don't you turn me down.
One of my favorite times was George Benson. He was on the show and he was singing this song, Turn Your Love Around. He was one of my favorite artists, and I happened to be right there underneath him on the stage. That was like my moment, because I was just that close to George Benson.
When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing.
Marvin Gaye, like hands down, one of my favorites. Of course, he did a lot of different numbers, but he was on once and he was performing Sexual Healing. And this was right before he passed away. And so I felt honored that I was able to see one of his last performances. And then I think about the rap era, when it came through, like I liked Houdini, Definitely liked all of the funk bands of the 80s, like Midnight Star, Lakeside. They were all hot. And so when they would come on the show, everybody wanted to dance when they were there. The Soul Train line for me was just freestyle. You didn't know what the song was gonna be, but you kind of had an idea what you were gonna do, right? You're standing there waiting for the light to come on. When the light came on, it was just the same as if I was on those back rises. You knew, boom, it's time to hit it. Whatever came to mind at that point, that's what you were gonna do. It gave you a chance to show your individuality when you was coming down the Soul Train line. That was what I really enjoyed about it. And then everybody seemed to get excited. That was like the end of the taping, and so everybody got a chance to shine. But one of my favorite moments coming down the line was I had this little white dance skirt on, and I just kind of like brushed it off and came down the line and did a flip, a forward flip, and landed in a split in heels. That was one of my favorite moments in the line. My real work was in the sports field. At the time, I was one of the first females to cover the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Raiders. That took up a lot of, my time, so that was sort of where my head was at. I stopped dancing on Soul Train really around the time where my sports writing career began to take over. And that was starting to take up more of my weekends. And a lot of times the show would come around, it's time for the taping, and here I am at Dodger Stadium covering a game. So couldn't make it, couldn't be there. That's when I started to sort of really move away from it. I would dance on Soul Train again. I would do it all over again, just to have the fun, the people, just a chance to express your alter ego and just be that for that moment, that person, that you could just let it go, let it out. Yeah. I never thought that it would become a part of history. I never thought I would be sitting here still talking about Soul Train, that it would become so much a part of our Black history, which made me very, very happy that I was a part of that. And so when I look back, like my son, he's like, he looks at that and he thinks, oh wow, Mom was doing something.